Hey everyone, I want to take you to my basement today because I have something down there that was an answer to prayer. Come on.
My name is Sarah. I love to garden and create things, but most importantly, I love God and want all that I do to reflect Him. I want to share my life with you, my successes and failures, that we may learn and grow together, as we are not meant to live this life alone. And while I cannot offer you perfection, I do simply invite you to come and grow with me.
So with my garden this year, I didn't get large batches of produce, and I've been trying to freeze the batches that is at least more than what we can eat right away. And the problem with that is I only have an upright fridge with the freezer on top, and that freezer fills up fast. So my freezer's full. I have more things I need to freeze that I would like to freeze, and I would like to have the ability to raise meat chickens and freeze those. So I need freezer space, and so I've been looking for a freezer. Now, with this situation right now, everything's expensive, even used freezers on Facebook Marketplace. Anytime I would find them, they were only, $200 short of what I would pay for a brand new one. And then some, maybe they're closer to my price range, but they're like 20 years old. And I'm like, I'm not paying that much for that old of a freezer. I don't know how long it's gonna last. So I was like, Lord, I don't know if I'm gonna get my freezer. And, I want it upright. I don't want a chest because I want to easily see what's in there. And I thought, Lord, I don't know. And then with Facebook Marketplace, I want the freezer in the basement. So my husband and I, we can't bring a freezer in the basement ourselves. So then we need help. Do we hire someone? And that's going to be an extra cost. And I just thought, this is getting complicated. I don't know how this is going to work out. Without going and spending the larger amount of money at a store and having them paying their delivery fee. And I just, the Lord knew my heart cry. I want this freezer to save my food. And another thing, I want the freezer in the basement. I'll turn here, you can see all the kid area where the kids play, and just kids are down here. And I thought, well, if I have a freezer in the basement, what if they open the freezer and it doesn't shut all the way? And, the food goes to waste, so maybe I don't need, just all these things that can make it complicated to make a decision sometimes. So I pop on Facebook Marketplace yesterday, looking for something else, and right there it shows freezer, and at a price I was like, what? And it was 8 years old. It wasn't super old. And then they said, for this much, we will deliver. And I'm like, Jason! So I messaged them, I go, by delivery, will you take it into my basement? And they're like, I asked some questions, and they're like, yeah, we can do that. And I was like, I'm like, Jason, let's get it. So I tell them we'll buy it. They brought it to us. They brought it in our basement, and it was exactly like my low, I'd really like to pay this much for a freezer price with the delivery fee included. And this freezer is only 8 years old. Let me show it to you. I'm super excited for this gift from God. It's not anything fancy. It's just a white upright freezer. It does have this fancy electronic board thingy. It's not plugged in right now, so it's not on because I need to wipe it down. But I'm so excited, guys. And then the best part is, and this wasn't even something I really thought about, but this freezer has a key and I can lock it. So then I can keep it locked when young kids are going to be over or whatever, and I just can have a peace of mind knowing it won't accidentally get left open. Not that I'd care if the kids peeked in the freezer. That's not a big deal. It's just, I don't want it to lose the food that's in there. So I'm super excited, guys. God, He knows the desires of our hearts, and then He gives us good things. And do we always get exactly what we want? No. But when we do, I'm just tickled pink. This is speaking my love language. This is amazing. I am so thankful that He found me a freezer that was within our price range. And the family that brought it was amazing. They're moving close to our church, and we told them about it, and I really hope that they'll start coming. And then maybe this is an opportunity to make a new friend. So this is cool. I'm going to clean it up, and I will show you some of the things that I've been freezing. It may be things you've frozen before, maybe not, but I'm just bringing you along. So let's get started. plug it in, and once it gets cold, we'll move everything down here. But while we wait on that, let me show you what I have in my freezer. There's some fun things. Some things I've already showed you in other videos. All right, let's go. Okay, we're up here at my freezer, and they say the proof is in the pudding. But I'm gonna say today it's in the full freezer. Look, there's no room for anything else. Maybe a little up there. But look, here's some fun things I've been freezing. These are ground cherries. That's daikon radish. There's the mulberries. There's homemade tomato sauce from my tomatoes and green beans from my garden. And this is fun. This is tomato ice cubes. So when I made my tomato sauce, I drain off a lot of the liquid and I froze it. And when I go to make chili, I will use that as my tomato juice, and it is so good. This is cantaloupe from my neighbor that's too ripe, tomatoes, and there's more tomato juice. So I'm gonna move most of this downstairs.
Everything changes.
All right, I've got everything moved downstairs that I want to move down. Now I have plenty of room to freeze like my chicken broth or bone broth that I just made that I need to freeze, finish up some tomato juice that I need to freeze. So this is super exciting. Hey, let me know in the comments if there's something that you have had on your heart that you've asked God for and He surprised you with exactly what you wanted. You know, I remember another time when I lived in down closer into town and the roads were awful. And every time I drive on the roads and I just go, God, would you please provide the money for the city to fix these roads so we can have nicer roads, because these are tearing up my car. And I would pray that prayer anytime I remember driving down that road. And after a year or so, there was construction, and I actually started to get a little irritated, and then I realized I prayed for this. And then every time I drove through that construction, I was actually excited that God was giving me fresh roads to drive on and no longer beat up my car. So He, I think, gives some strange things sometimes, but it's the desires of our heart, and He's just good like that. And so write in the comments if there is something that you have asked God for and He gave it to you, or He surprised you with it, and because I want to know, and let's share. So thanks for joining me today. I will see you in the next video. It's working! I don't know what these buttons do yet, but it's a working. Oh look, a door ajar light. Woo woo!